things escalated pretty quickly here in Atlantic Beach today. At the start of the day, the town's election commission was hoping to certify mayoral results after some ballots had been contested earlier this week. But now we're not sure when those results will be certified because the election commission no longer exists. What was supposed to be a certification of mayoral election results in the town of Atlantic Beach turned into something bigger. The town council called an emergency meeting earlier this afternoon.
We'll have to follow up with information from our lawyer to see how we move forward from this. But as we speak here today, there is no election commission. It has just been dissolved.
Mayor Jake Evans and the Atlantic Beach Town Council claim that Election Commissioner Joe Montgomery violated multiple state laws, including attempting to certify results without a court reporter present and attending campaign events.
All those accusations are completely false. I have never attended a campaign rally other than to pick up food and leave.
Mayor Pro Tem Josephine Isom was declared the unofficial winner of the mayoral race on Tuesday. But after some contested ballots yesterday, it looked as if her challenger, John David, won the mayoral race. Isom wrote a letter yesterday afternoon protesting the certification of the election for mayor, saying that ballots were counted from voters who do not live in the town.
I think this is the cotton politics that have happened in this town over the years, and that people voted because they're fed up with it. I think that we need help right now from the state because this kind of railroad justice is unjust to the people of Atlantic Beach.
When I spoke to people on both sides of the issue, they said they are not sure exactly what comes next or when results will be certified. But longtime Atlantic Beach residents say this is disheartening for them.
To fire a commission in the middle of an election, it doesn't smell well.
This bothers me. Why can't we only have 4 streets here? Why can't we get along good enough to do that?
Rachel, I've been asking election experts that very question today, and this all stems over challenge ballots that happened last week. But this situation is something experts tell me will probably have to go to the court.
If that is the case, it would be my understanding that, well, that they can't do that.
Last Friday, the town of Atlantic Beach removed its entire election commission before it could certify votes for its mayoral race, claiming multiple state laws were violated. Associate political science professor at Coastal Carolina University, Drew Kurlowski, says municipalities can only remove individual members from a commission for violating certain regulations. But since Atlantic Beach removed its entire commission, that's different under the law.
The municipality is required by state law to have a municipal election commission.
Kurlowski says the only way an election commission can be dissolved is if the municipality has an agreement for the county to take over its elections. But he says that agreement must be solidified beforehand.
They can't dissolve the commission and then go to the county and say, we need you to do this.
The Horry County Election Commission tells me since the county isn't in charge of the election, it can't step in. And the State Election Commission says it can't either.
We don't have the ability to make them certify the election or make them come back. We don't have any authorities.
Spokesperson John Catalano says municipalities call the State Election Commission for a variety of issues, but he doesn't remember speaking with anyone from Atlantic Beach.
They definitely didn't, to my knowledge, call the State Election Commission and ask our opinion on whether they could disband or not.
Kurlowski and Catalano say what's next may be up to the court.
Whether or not that entails a member of the commission who thinks they've been wrongfully terminated from the commission, or whether or not it's a voter who brings an action against the city or the members of the council, I can't say. But it strikes me that that's probably where they're headed as they've reached sort of an impasse on what's doable in the political world.
Well, Eric, the Atlantic Beach Election Commission was supposed to hold a protest hearing this morning over the November mayoral election results, but that hearing was not allowed to proceed.
I would like to say shame on the town of Atlantic Beach.
This is just absolutely unacceptable.
Atlantic Beach residents left frustrated and still without a mayor. The special election protest hearing was scheduled for Wednesday morning to address allegations by mayoral candidate Josephine Isom. She claimed people voted in the November election who do not live in Atlantic Beach. Residents hoped it would lead the commission to certify the election results.
I wanted this to be resolved. The town wanted this to be resolved, and I was looking forward to actually having this resolved today.
But nothing has been resolved. Election Commission Chair Kenneth McIver was the only commissioner to show up Wednesday morning. It means there wasn't a quorum and the hearing couldn't be held. He tells me he received word last night that the other two commissioners, Carolyn Gore and Derek Stevens, had to deal with a family emergency. McIver says he still decided to call the meeting because attorneys and a court reporter were traveling long distances to be there. Residents tell me they think their time was wasted and believe Gore and Stevens didn't show up purposely to stall the vote.
I don't understand that. It smells quite fishy to me.
Do you think that was purposeful?
My belief is that it very well could be.
Now, the town's election commission is forced to reschedule the meeting, which they hope will happen next week.
Given the gravity of the situation, we've had a municipal election that's been held up. The public needs to know what happened and know that there's at least no funny business going on through council, through candidate David, through candidate Isom, with regards to trying to delay this hearing, because that's not the case.
Councilman and mayoral candidate John David tells me he hopes this whole situation will be resolved next week, and if it's not, he says he will take it to court.
I think it's just wholly wrong that the folks are disenfranchised in the town. I mean, we had an election November 7th. Today is like
March 20th.
March 20th. So count the months that our votes haven't been counted.
Well, Eric, last week this meeting was postponed because the Election Commission didn't have a quorum. This week they had a quorum, but election commissioners claimed that mayoral candidate John David has a document that he's not allowed to have.
Atlantic Beach is on a very slippery slope.
Another setback in Atlantic Beach's election drama. A meeting to certify November election results between John David and Josephine Isom postponed again.
And this is very frustrating to me. I did not get prior notice from the town's attorney for that.
Election Commission Chairman Kenneth McIver tells me he was taken by surprise when his fellow commissioners voted to postpone the meeting. They claim mayoral candidate David had a document they say was under attorney-client privilege. David says the document was a sample motion provided to the Election Commission, as well as a second protest letter by his opponent. He says he requested the document and the town manager gave it to him.
If that was a protest letter, that document also should have been conveyed to me as I'm in the protest contest, and that's why the town manager gave it to me.
McIver also claims the town's attorney and his fellow commissioners want to hold Isom's protest hearing before certifying election results. He says this is prohibited.
I have asked the attorney, presented my case for the sequencing, the correct sequencing of events, and the other commissioners did not see it my way, and they voted against me.
The other two commissioners, Carolyn Gore and Derek Stevens, declined to comment.
4 months this has been delayed, and for what purpose? You know, first of all, they didn't come to a meeting last week. This week seems like they have an orchestrated plan to not count the votes. Again, what's happening next week?
Longtime Atlantic Beach resident John Skeeters tells me the situation is very concerning to him.
We can't agree enough with each other for our own best interest. I hope I don't ever have to come back here and say, well, that used to be Atlantic Beach.
After a 5-hour meeting, the drama surrounding the mayoral election in one North Strand town still mostly unresolved. Julia Richardson in Atlantic Beach to tell us what comes next.
The Atlantic Beach Election Commission deemed the November mayoral race between Councilmember John David and Mayor Pro Tem Josephine Isom invalid, and now they're calling for a special election for that position. The Atlantic Beach Election Commission held a protest hearing today to address concerns from mayoral candidate Josephine Isom. Isom originally protested 19 ballots cast in the November mayoral race against John David, claiming those voters do not live in Atlantic Beach. Today, she narrowed that number down to 14. Along with Isom, her attorney called former Mayor Irene Armstrong as a witness. Armstrong said she gets voter registration records every election and corroborated Isom's claim that those people do not live in Atlantic Beach. John David's attorney did not call any witnesses, but handed out affidavits on the people Isom claims do not live in the town. The Election Commission declared 13 of the contested ballots fraudulent and therefore said the election was invalid. Right now, it is unclear when that special election will be taking place. In Atlantic Beach, Julia Richardson, WNBF News.